and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Three Men and a Vape Show. It's nice to see you all there in chat. We are joined by my co-host, the wonderful Mr. Simon. Mr. Coyley, nice to see you, brother.
Hello, good evening.
Also, the one and only Salford. You're an absolute star, buddy. And we've got a special guest, Andre, from the company called Viking. We're going to be talking a lot about him all the way through the show. And it is nice that we're actually streaming. If anybody got the Sav show last night, completely and utterly didn't work. I don't like Zoom, I like VC, so we're sticking with that sort of stuff. Mr. Coyley, it has been a week. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well. I'm very, very tired. It's been a long day. Up since, 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning. And over in Lancashire, we're not nearly in Salford's county, but not far away. So, yeah, if I don't make much sense tonight, I'm feeling the pressure and the stress and the tiredness. So. Not that makes sense any time, really, but...
Mate, I couldn't believe when you told me that you'd been up since 4 o'clock this morning and you just got back at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'd have been having a nana nap.
Well, I was sort of chauffeured across. I only had to drive to Leeds. And then I got picked up from Leeds by my boss and taken across to Bury, as I'm told I have to say it.
Bury? You're not...
Bury.
Bury.
I call it Bury.
Bury.
But no, it was an interesting day. So.
And Salford, it's been a week as well, brother. How's your week been? Are you okay?
Absolutely fantastic week. Normal crap for me, of course. As usual, sat on my ass doing bugger all.
There's nothing wrong with that. See, I work on a weekend, so I do that all week.
You come
the weekend.
Come and join the show. We're all full of the joys of spring. Dave's miserable.
Andre, thank you very much, brother, for coming and joining us tonight. How are you, brother? Can you hear us, Andre?
Oh, yeah. I'm here.
Shit,
sorry.
he's forgetting his own name. It's me. Is it? Is it me?
Is it my turn?
Right then. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do like we normally do. Let's have a little look what people are vaping on. We'll go straight away to Salford. Tell us what you got, brother.
Oh, God, here we go.
I'll catch you in half an hour.
Remember, I got in trouble last week. Simon's going to outdo me this week, so
I'm not.
I've just put a couple of things out. He's not had time. And not only that, watch out for him changing his accent to a Lancashire one.
You don't want to hear that.
Mouth to lung, I'm on the old drip box, and I've got the Ambitions mod one on top, the Spiral, mouth to lung RDA. It's alright. Not bad at all. I've got the Shogun kit, of course, with the katana on top, still. Still going through testing on it. We'll be up for review very soon. I can't go anywhere without me recurve canna and me goat on top. And in that I've got that fake Kanza, which isn't bad actually. And I've got one that everybody else hates, and I'm on a coffee vape. I'm on my old Lux, of course, and the Valerian. I've got a few mouth to lungers about, but I'm not getting them all out because I take up 90% of the show. Of course, I am back on the tower block, and I've put re-wicked everything. So
it's nice when you re-wick everything again, isn't it?
Yeah, it needs
Just rebuilding.
He's just rebuilding now.
I brought an old one out today because I thought I'd just have a play about, and I've brought the Praxis Banshee out. Anybody remember that one? Praxis Banshee and the 26. Yeah, I brought that back out, and I've got the L Beast on, but I've got it in sub-ohm mode now. So I've got I think the NRG coils that are actually in it. So, but it's not bad. I liked it as a mouth to lunger, and it's not too bad as a sub-ohm tank.
Nice.
And that's it for me.
That's it.
18 and a T20 over there, and a load of pod systems. So I'm not going through them because I'm already in trouble with Simon.
No, you keep going, Salford.
No, I can pass it back now. I'm being good because if I turn the camera and you're seeing the X-Ohm and the bloody 2 and oh god, there's all sorts on here. Oh god, no, I'll just turn the camera. Look.
I'll tell you what, it looks a lot better than what my room does look like, because mine's there's crap everywhere.
Aidan, that's tidied up. I did it about an hour ago.
Mine's just got mods and everything all over the place.
I have wire everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. Literally wire everywhere.
Right, we'll pass it over to the wonderful Mr. Coyley. What are you vaping on?
So I'm on tonight the Smart Sharon Mini, and on top of that I've got the Freemax Mesh Pro stock coil tank. I don't very often vape a stock coil tank. There's a story to that. You know that when you sort of wick a tank or build a tank and wick it in a hurry, and then go away for the day, and you get to where you're going and it starts dry hitting like an absolute bastard. That's what happened to me today, and I always carry my Freemax Mesh Pro around as a spare tank. So that's why I'm using that. And in there I have the Keep It 100 Crunchy Squares. I'm still vaping on the I've forgotten this, the one that we click on 5 times on and off. It's called RevTech Phantom.
You mean yours does, but Aiden's doesn't?
Aiden's doesn't. Yeah, Aiden's got the reject.
Yeah.
With the still with the Mage on top of it, and in there I have got the Cherry Crumble. On that.
Well, that sounds nice.
And I have the Case Solomon 3 with Viking N coils inside.
Oh.
On top of the Digiflavor Edge. That also, we didn't let me down. I was stupid again. First time I'd used this mod, took it away with me today. Got the fire button lock on it. Couldn't work out how to switch it back on again to turn the lock off. So that was why I ended up on the Smart Sharon Mini. And in there I have home baked cherry bakewell. And that's it. I do have lots of squonks down here, but I'm not vaping on them at the moment, so I'll keep it short. I do
apologise if the stream's a little bit choppy. We're having a bit of problem with YouTube. I know definitely that there's been a problem with people streaming today. So I'm sorry if there's a little bit choppy. So is that you done and dusted then, Mr. Coyle?
That's me. Yeah, that's everything.
We'll pass it over to Andre. What are you vaping on, brother?
At the moment, I'm using brass Rogue with Gun Titanium with some of my coils, and I'm vaping on, at the moment, on the Viking Idun. It's a pear shake. Beautiful.
Pear milkshake?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't think I've ever tried a pear milkshake. Have you, Simon?
Nope, no, never. I've never. It isn't even something I would have thought of. But it sounds because I love pears. Absolutely love pears.
Yeah, I like a good pear, especially if it's a natural pear.
I didn't want to say that.
I have also a few other juices, but since I'm rebuilding, I cannot vape them at the moment.
And is that it? Is that all you're vaping on?
At the moment, yes. Well, I also have another AV mod that I'm vaping on. I mostly vape only on Mac mods, so...
You'd get on well with my brother. My brother is solo, and that's all he vapes on. But I'll tell you what I'm vaping on, which is I'm basically just still testing bits and bobs. I've got the Treo kit, or Tayo, which I've been now told. The gentleman emailed me today. He liked the review, and he said to me, but it is called Tayo, not Treo. But that's what I'm going to call it. And I've had some menthol asylum in this, which is quite nice. A nice little menthol. And then I've tested, which the review's coming out this week, is the Vowel. Good for Nick salts. It's got 3 different settings. You've got the bottom settings for the Nick salt. Then you've got the next setting, which is more for your 50-50 juice, 60-40. And then you've got a higher setting, which you can use for either one of them, which is really good.
Which Vowel is it?
It's a P-Bob.
So what?
That's interesting.
He's asking what vowel is. I'll have one from the top, one from the bottom. And then
I'm not bending over again.
Then we've got the Preco Plus kit, which is really, really good. I'm loving this, and it is. I love the tank. I know a lot of people are saying about it being thrown, for the... Oh, I can't even speak now. For the environment. But what they're doing now is they're actually making it so you can put it into your recycle bin, or you can send it back to Horizon Tech, who are now with V-Zone, and they will recycle it for you. I think 3 of them are about 11 quid. So it's about the same as getting a set of coils. And it is mesh coils. 18650, nice little bang of that. I'm really enjoying that. And in that, I've got some reggae juice. That's what I'm calling it, or reggae sauce. And then I've got the
do that. You can't do that like that. You go, reggae man.
It's a reggae man.
Yeah, man.
And then we've got but I'd have to have some cider in it instead. We've got the Ranger, the nice 80s throwback, with the last dregs of the watermelon mojito. So that is basically what I'm vaping on. I've been like that for the last few days. I haven't done anything different. So it's been a week. Do you want to say some shout outs to people, Simon, or?
I think Salford should do it. I did it last week, so we should get Salford doing some shout outs this week.
Bill Richards, the Bobster. There's loads, weren't there? Chris Doyle. I'm going to have to go back up the page. Jules Mama Bates, Orion, Jay's Vape Review, Bunny, Vaping Scotsman. Who else we got? Flat Cap. Don't know you, Flat Cap. Get over and subscribe to the Salford Vapor. Roddy Campbell. I'm rushing up. I'm not getting anywhere.
We've got Mobro in.
Oh, countdown. Oh, I'm nearly top. Saints. I don't know if I've already said Saint. And if I've missed anybody, it's tough shit.
We've got Shane.
We've got Chris Doyle. We've also got Shane Wiseman. We've got we've got loads in.
Gary F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we've still got people coming in the room at the moment. I mean, the notifications take 10, 15 minutes sometimes to come out if you get them at all.
Well, I've been noticing that myself. People's shows, they've been coming up, like maybe half an hour, 45 minutes after they've gone live.
Well, your show yesterday?
Yeah.
I got it 10 minutes after it ended. It's a good job I was already in there, wasn't it?
It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
Vaping room.
How is that for a name? Turbo Shuffling Mong on the Bog.
Yeah. Sounds like me on a Monday morning.
That'd be something like TVP would have, wouldn't it? Is that an extra name or something?
Yeah.
So what we got, Flat Cap Vapor as well. What we'll do is we will be talking to Andre about all what he's doing, how he all started, and all the bits and bobs a little bit later on. But as normal, we always get Mr. Coyle to scour the internet for some new news. Mr. Coyle, have you got some news? Shall I put the screen up?
Yes, do. And you're not going to do anything silly this week, are you?
No, we're not now.
No, we would read that again.
I said I was going to record the screen this week.
Yeah, you are. It's up, the picture's up, Mr. Coyle.
Right, so the news story today, which I thought was really controversial, I read the headline, I've sort of skim-read the actual text as well. Here we go. EU Health Commissioner says vaporisers are poison. Behave, Aidan. I'm watching out the corner of my eye this week. Head of the Cabinet of EU Health Commissioner Arunas I can't say that. Arunas, anyway, was speaking at an event last month in which participants called for a broader dialogue with the policymakers on sensitive health topics like tobacco. When asked why the Commission had systematically refused to meet with the tobacco industry representatives to discuss safe alternatives during the current term, that man, Arunas, said that there is a reluctance towards the industry, also saying that there are better ways to quit smoking rather than vaping. There are scientific reports saying that e-cigarettes are less harmful than cigarettes. He said about e-cigarettes, but it's still tobacco. You can drink less poison, but it is still poison in the end, he stated inaccurately. So I'm not going to read through the whole text, but I just thought that was a really... It's like clickbait, that, isn't it? And perhaps that's what it's aimed to be, but it's just a real controversial title. Something really controversial that he said.
He said that the beginning of this week, didn't he?
Yeah. This story is from February the 15th, so yeah, it was Friday.
See, one of the things you've always said, Simon, is that it'd be nice if they could just come out with it and say, look, it is, like we know, 95% safer than smoking, and just come out with something. But then you're always going to get these people that, and I think they're ill-educated as well about it, and they just come out because that's what they think they should say.
But the thing is, you've got somebody who's massively public profile, somebody who should be responsible in the sort of things that they're saying, coming out with absolute codswallop like that. It just, you know, how can you come out with something as sort of broad, wide-ranging as that, so incorrect and so potentially damaging as well, without a thought. But it's, you know, I still go back to this same thing that, I mean, in the UK, obviously, like we said before, the message is becoming more accepted amongst the different authorities, whether it be the NHS, whether it be Public Health England, pharmacies, doctors, whatever. But you still, I had a conversation today about it, and somebody was saying that the World Health Organization says that e-cigarettes are dangerous. So, you know, how come the UK are saying that it's not? And there's obviously I'm loving this. I'm actually reading the comments tonight. What a total turbo twat, says Bill Richards.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? It's not helping.
No.
Do you notice as well, though, we get loads of really good news, and then they must think, oh, I tell you, we're going to have to start putting some bad news out there.
Well, it's all about market elasticity, which means the governments, they already spend the money that they would get from tobacco tax, plus the big tobacco is suffering because they don't sell cigarettes anymore. And then we have the biggest one that's crying, those are the pharmaceuticals, because they cannot sell, you know, their own shit, which is shit, because it doesn't work. Been there, done that.
So what's the situation in Sweden, Andre? Is it, you know, is there a common message? Is it?
It's pretty much the same as in UK.
So do your health officials sort of back vaping, or, you know?
Not really. Not really. It's like a split. It's split. It's like you have news reporters doing bullshit stories like, oh, perhaps, maybe, and so on. It's like, really? Just read. Don't repost, you know, crappy articles that are floating around. Just go to the source, Royal College of Physicians, and read the studies that have been done.
And I think the thing that's the one thing that really winds me up all the time is, one day, going back to what you were saying, Aidan, and you know, just touching on what you were saying as well, is that the likes of the Sun newspaper or the Daily Mail, you know, sort of both UK papers, one day, as you say, they'll report e-cigs are good, this report says this report says that, and then the next day, you know, they're saying completely the opposite. Oh, it's got, you know, cancer cause, it causes this damage, it does that, and I don't get it. It's, you know, it's all about
ratings.
Well, yeah, that's it, and it's about
drama sells.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you've got to think. Like you just said, it sells, doesn't it? One day they're saying one thing, next day they're saying another one. We did put an article, but I didn't realise it was MBK put it up on his group about that they tested so many vapors over a number of years, and there was no effects on the lungs at all. It was exactly the same as what it was for anybody who hadn't been vaping. So that was good news. And we also touched a bit like this on Savs last night. When they do these tests as well, when you were at school, when you did a science test, you had to be able to repeat it and have so many results, didn't you?
Yeah.
They're doing them on the old clearamizers, you know, with the cotton coming down, and they're getting 1,000 puffs off of it. And obviously, you would never use that much, would you?
No.
You'd throw it away. So they're saying that there's toxic bits in it, and then we had that stuff about just coming off of coils and.
That's that. I mean, they automate these processes. They put it on a machine, and they're basically just pumping this stuff through these machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even in toxins all day long. They're breathing toxins all day long, especially in the city like me.
Yeah, if you walk outside and go down in any major city, or you're breathing in more than what you would do anything to do with vaping, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I was when I used to work in, and this is slightly off vaping, but on sort of slightly more on topic. I don't know whether they do the same thing in Sweden, Andre, but when I worked in Belgium for a year, and when I think it's when the heat or the humidity or something got above a certain level, all the vehicles were forced. They put speed limits on the main roads down from whatever it was. Not a normal speed limit is 810 kilometres an hour down to 70 kilometres an hour to cut the emissions down. So it was quite.
Well, they've put big boxes in most major cities now to be able to test the levels. I'd hate to be, like in a bus station. Can you imagine what the toxic levels are in there?
Mm. They were saying in the local paper that they're actually making it illegal now, or they're looking to make it illegal in York Centre to leave your engine running while you're stationary. So
a lot of cars nowadays have that cut-off, don't they?
Yeah. Good evening, Mark, Nature Vape.
I see you, Mark. Yeah, they have that cut-off, but there's that much crap that you breathe in. And I always go back to this one as well. Obviously, vaping inside, I've got a local working men's club over the road from me. And I always take something very small, vaping etiquette, and no big clouds, and I always blow it to the floor as well. Mm. And you can see them looking at you because they're going to go outside, and they're all, oh, it smells. Well, mine smells of fruit. You walk in, and you absolutely reek like an ashtray, and I can still smell it on you. Mm. And I'm getting that secondary smoke from you. Is you breathing on me? So what would you rather smell? That stale smoke that you stink of, or a pear milkshake?
Yeah, but it's like, when you go, you can still smell in some of the old working men's clubs and things like that. You can still smell the ashtrays and the cigarette smoke and everything else in there, even now. So, however long it is since the vaping, the smoking ban came in, it's
4 years.
Ronnie Campbell's just said they're doing that on the M1 at Sheffield with the speed limits for environment emissions. Is that true as well? Sorry, again going off the vaping topic, that the speed cameras on the M1, the variable speed limits, that they're permanently switched on now. So if you're going over 70 miles an hour, you're going to get done, even if it's not shown on the variable speed thing.
I'm not sure.
I don't know whether it's true. It was on Facebook, so chances are it isn't, but. There was something that I read that said it's. Ronnie's saying yes, it is. So it was quite worrying.
Yeah, Bill Richards, you're right. They did, and they did it in New York as well. That test. I found that the air inside the vape shop was cleaner than the air outside.
I wonder what it's like out of a chippy.
Sorry.
Oh, chippy.
Outside the chippy.
You've ever been near anybody who works in a chippy and they've been in it all day long? Oh,
they reek.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing worse when it rains outside and the smoke walks past you.
Yeah.
That's the most horrible smell.
Yeah.
Like a wet, soggy ashtray, innit?
Mm. Do you know when anybody says anything about a wet, soggy ashtray? When I first ever started reviewing, I got sent some juice. And the juice, it was just a bog standard line. Anyway, they sent me a tobacco one. And I'm going to tell you the truth about this. I did the review on it, but I actually put another bit of liquid in my tank because it tasted that bad. I told them it were really bad, but I wouldn't have been able to do the review because it were making me literally feel sick. And it was. Can you remember when, like you said, when it rained and you had the ashtray with all the cigarettes in it?
Yeah.
Oh, and it were absolutely mank.
So I used to have
sick 3 times to do a review.
When I was smoking, I used to. So I've a little shed out the back where I work. When I was smoking, I had little glass jars, like coffee jars and things like that. Yeah. So I used to put my cigarette ends in. But it was like once every month I had to go and empty those out and put them in the bin. Once the cigarette ends had been in there and the rain had been in it and everything else, by Christ, did those stink! Absolutely rotten, foul.
Yes, the ex-smokers are the worst people when it comes to smoking.
Yeah, I always said I never would be. I always said I wouldn't be. I mean, I'm not anti-smoking. If somebody wants to smoke, that's up to them. But the smell of it, I just really don't like.
We as the vapors, we need smokers and also non-smokers on our side.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean that we have to try this. No, they have to be ready for it. They have to be the one to approach you. It's like, can I try this?
But see, on the vaping thing, we've had this conversation on the shows in the past. I think I talked about it when I went to an awards night with my wife when the smokers were berating me for vaping, like you were just saying, Aidan. I wonder how much of it is actually that they believe what they read about vaping, the crap that they read about vaping, and I wonder how much of it is actually an excuse because I don't want to stop smoking, so I'm going to say that vaping's worse, so that I don't have to give up my fags.
Well,
Most of them, I would say, they get afraid of because, for simple devices, they don't need to know anything, just which use they like.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's it. But when it comes to this kind of devices, Mac mods and so on, they need to know Ohm's law, they need to know battery safety, they need to know atomizer safety, and so on.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of information that they need to learn quite fast,
Yeah.
especially with battery safety, so you don't have, a battery. Oh, sorry, this one is invisible. Green screen for the win.
Invisible batteries, there's a new concept.
Well, this one is wrapped. It just has a clear wrap, so you don't have, battery in your pocket with your keys, dust, and so on. All you need is a box. You put it in, and you're safe. If you don't have a box, just put an electric tape over the plus, and you're safe. It's that simple.
Yeah, people. Obviously, all of us as reviewers and as casters, we always push about battery safety, but you still get a lot of people who feel that it's the same as having a couple of AA batteries.
No.
It's not. These are big batteries, and when they go, they don't have go with a pop. I've seen a few of them.
Honestly, if you wire together 4 18650s, yeah, you can start a car with that with not a problem. Easy.
I actually, one of Telford Vapor, who used to be around, he did it, and he showed me the scar on his leg, and that way it took half his muscle away.
You see, when you're talking about education, what's the best way for, because of all the battery safety? I mean, even outside of mech mods, battery safety is still really important. I mean, I've seen some shocking, on Facebook, seeing shocking battery wraps and things like that are all torn and ripped and everything else. When I first started vaping, nobody taught me about battery safety. Nobody taught me that your battery wrap should be good. You actually have to go and find that out yourself, don't you?
Yeah. Do you think vape shops? See, when you walk into a vape shop, there's not a lot of battery safety stuff around, is there? Like posters, making sure that people know.
No, exactly.
Well, I can say for the two stores in basically one is Essex City and the other one is Sigoteket. They are quite big on safety. They will not sell you an advanced device if you're not ready for it. They will literally quiz you. What's that? What's that? What's that? And if you don't shoot it out yet, you're not getting that.
Every vape shop should do that if they're selling them type of devices. They really should. But unfortunately, there's still the dodgy shops, isn't there, that'll sell you anything.
Honestly, because people don't realize those are pipe bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You build too low, you can say goodbye to your hands and your face.
Yeah, I don't touch mech mods, I'll be totally honest with you. I've got one, but I don't touch it. My brother is massively into them, and that's all he really uses. But I personally don't touch them because I don't want to have that chance.
Yeah.
You don't see that little nick on your
Mech
battery.
mods are basically they're a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not, you regulate your power by changing the ohms on the battery, different metals. Of course, you also have to know which metals are safe to use. I'm seeing now a lot of use of nichrome 90, and people don't understand that nichrome 90 is basically scrap metal you get from lead, copper, cobalt inside. So that's the first poison. The second one is when the nichrome 90 reaches a certain temperature, the ohms will drop for minimum 40%. So ohm law goes bye-bye.
What, by 40%?
Yeah.
That's a huge drop, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you told me that the other day, Andre, and even I'm saying even I don't know that, but as much as I've been vaping and building my own RTAs and buying coils and things like that, I never knew that.
All I'm gonna say is safe metals for vaping are Cantal A1, nichrome 80, stainless steel, and anarchist wire, which is basically nichrome 80 is just a lot more refined.
Yes, it's the alloys, isn't it?
Stay away from nefarium, stay away from titanium, stay away from nickel, and stay away from nichromaty. Because those are
titanium
dangerous.
is well known, isn't it? Titanium's well known for the titanium oxide coming off of it.
Exactly.
So
nerve gas.
I think a lot of vapors know about that one. And that could be an analogy for a lot of people as well.
The biggest issue is obviously not just safety for the user, but it's also the reputation for the vape industry, community, whatever you want to, whichever aspect of it, that as soon as people start blowing their fingers off and, you know, getting allergic reactions to different metals and things like that, then that's just going to reflect on the vape industry as a whole, isn't it? It's more bad news for us because it makes the news. Somebody's CC explodes, somebody, you know, dies from an allergy to nickel or whatever. It's just bad publicity again, isn't it?
Just a couple of questions in
I'm
chat.
from Slovenia, but I live in Sweden. So yeah, my accent is quite thick.
I was just going to do that, Joel. And we're also going to do Mush the Snowman. Thank you very much, my wonderful wife, to bring me another coffee. Thank you very much. I was asked to leave a vape shop because they was going to sell a mech mod to somebody who didn't know anything about them, and I told them they shouldn't sell it to them. I went out after the show last night. I nipped over for the last ones over the road, and there were a gentleman I know. He was pretty drunk, but he's a mate of mine, and I know him. And he had a smock species, and they sold him that as a starter kit.
Why?
They didn't ask him what how many smoked or what his lifestyle was. They just basically asked him what his budget was and sold it him for £95.
Good grief!
See, but there's too many of them types of shops about.
You know, vape shops shouldn't be about the money. Of course, they have to make a living, but they also have to tailor their services to regarding, you know, the knowledge.
Yeah, unfortunately.
First knowledge, and the second, you know, for most of the people out there, a device like this, mouth to lung, is going to be more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have shops that their sales assistants are given targets and stuff to get rid of. And then you go into a different shop that's actually vapors that own the shop. And that's where you get the good advice. But if you go into one that's not owned by vapors and they've got sales targets, people coming away with all sorts of things that are literally no use to them whatsoever.
But it's the equivalent, isn't it, of you going to the chemist and saying, I've come to buy some, what do they call it, nitol tablets, you know, the herbal sleeping things, and the pharmacist saying, no, you don't want that, get some of these, you know, sleeping tablets that you can, I'll sell you these over the counter, take those away with you. You know, with no discussion about how many you need to take, no discussion about, you know, how you need to be careful with it. It's the same sort of thing. And you wouldn't if somebody did that, it'd be uproar, absolute uproar.
I've said this plenty of times before. I remember a vape shop that were advertising for somebody there, and a lad went for the job, and he said that he was into vaping. He watched all the programs, stuff like that, all the shows, and he's really into it. And they said, well, you're not really what we're looking for. And he said, why? He says, well, what we want is somebody who doesn't know anything about vaping, so they haven't really got an opinion, so they'll sell whatever they want them to sell.
Right.
That's just stupid, isn't it? That's like getting a doctor and say, look, we don't want a really proper doctor because we don't have to pay him, right? Just take half his head off and have a little look at his brain and then see if you can sort it out.
Sorry, I'm snorted.
You better not do. We'll get proper shut down if you do that. Right then, it's getting to that point of the evening. We've got a special guest on, ladies and gentlemen. The wonderful Andre from the Viking. Mate, I'll tell you, I'm going to start it straight off to you, and I'm going to show some pictures while you're talking as well of your coils. How did you start vaping? How did your journey start?
Let's see. I've literally tried everything possible, from pills, meditation, patches, even hypnosis to stop smoking. And basically, vaping was the last possible thing that. Okay, I said, okay, let's try it. I'm gonna see how it goes. That was 5 years ago, and I was intrigued because I literally took my first device. It was an Inokin Coolfire 4 Plus, I think, 75-watt device, a simple tank, nothing special, and that lasted me for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then I've upgraded to what was it? Votofo Stentorian 220. That lasted me for like 4 years, and then I gave it away. But also in between, I've become a big fan of DNA mods, custom mods, and so on. Me starting building coils was literally like 2 months into my vaping, because I was watching Aries.
Aries, yeah, JJ.
Yeah, so I was like, I can do this, and he was like, yeah, right. It's like, I'm a chef, I can do this thing. So he sent me first spools of wire, and I've literally managed to build whatever he can in 2 weeks.
And I tell you what, his coils are brilliant. He's a great bloke as well. I've had a lot of time with him on the network.
So I've spent quite a lot of time talking with him, coming up with new ideas. So I've built pretty much everything possible, like in my first 6 months of vaping.
And how long have you been doing it now? How long's
5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
Oh, that's wicked. Obviously, we've been well, I'll stick the pictures up back again a little bit later on. There's some good-looking coils there. Some really good-looking coils.
Well, those are the pictures that I've posted on the webs before. I have a lot of them that I haven't posted yet. I still haven't had time to learn how to use Photoshop.
Yeah, I get it, brother.
So basically, all those pictures were done. Basically, it's just transformed to raw to normal. That's it. What you see is what you get.
Are these all made at home, or have you got a shop, or?
At the moment, they were all made. Those were all made at home. Now I have a proper studio since I moved from Stockholm to Skåne to Tomelilla, and now I have a proper studio for casting, which also doubles up as my building studio.
On your builds, do you clean the builds after you've made them?
Yes, always. I put basically whatever coils I make, I put them through a sonic cleaner, which I preheat the water so it goes faster to like 70 degrees, and then the sonic cleaner will heat it up to like 80. So basically, all the germs are killed, all the oils go off, all the nasties goes away, so the coil is clean.
Yeah. Because I know that's always an important question these days.
Oh yeah, always you have to clean. Also, any kind of RDA or RDTA you buy, even tanks, I recommend that you put it through a sonic cleaner. If you don't have it, boil the water up to the boiling point and just drop the pieces in. Of course, you put the entire pot off the stove, so basically all the fats, oils will go off, because you don't want to vape machine oil.
I'll tell you what, I've had plenty of tanks like that. You know, when they've been sent for review, and I've like set them off, and you're thinking, what's that taste?
Machine oil.
Oils. Machine oil.
Yeah, so I stick it in sonic cleaner now before I ever test anything.
What about, did you mention what wire you use for your?
For my builds, I mostly use stainless steel 316L from Kidney Puncher. I've started with that wire. It is one of the best wire on the planet because they have the best machining process. There's no cracks in the wire. There's even the twist is minimum, so basically the wire is almost clean when you get it. Of course, you still have to clean it. Why I love stainless steel is also because you can use it in temp control, power mode, mechanical mode. You can use it on all of them.
Yeah, but heating up and cooling down still causes microfractures, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, but...
Well, it does with any metal, once it's heated up and cooled down all the time.
Well, Aris did quite a long time ago nice tests and actually tested what is in the wires between different companies.
Yeah.
And the only company that actually puts out in the open where they get wire and what's inside of the wire is Kidney Puncher. Basically, Kidney Puncher is also squadood wire, twisted masses, and a few others. So basically, if you want to know what they have in the wire, you just go to Sandviken webpage under the resistance wires, and you get the entire chemical structure, what's inside.
Right, so they document the purity of the metals in use.
Yeah.
Right.
On your, just an interesting question, Andre. And this probably might be a stupid question, but
there's no stupid questions. Only stupid answers.
Do your coils? And I ought to try this myself actually, but do your coils work in on, because you mentioned DNA mods before? Do they work with the replay mode on the new DNA boards? Because I have struggled to find Claptons of any sort that work on replay in the DNA.
They work beautifully on temperature control.
Right. I'm going to try that now tomorrow. I'm going to give it a go, because I've always struggled. I've had Claptons that have said these are totally stainless steel, nothing else in them. Put the mod into replay mode and it says, not having that. I don't recognise it, can't deal with it.
It could be because of the atomizer.
Mm.
It could be.
Yeah, I've tried three or four different atomizers, all with different stainless steel coils, and no joy. But I've not tried yours, so I'll try yours.
I had quite a few Swedish reviewers trying that, and they said that it works beautifully.
I'm going to give that a go tomorrow, because I love replay mode, but I couldn't find coils to work on the replay mode other than straightforward round wire stainless steel builds. That's all.
When you say in replay mode, are you meaning temperature control?
It's temperature control for power, really. It's supposed to give you the exact same vape as you had before once you say that particular one. So what it is, it's basically TC for power.
Right. So I don't like. I've never got on with normal temp control. It doesn't work for me. But replay, you basically.
I just upgraded my firmware, so it works beautifully. Don't you see the USB slot?
Just inside.
you basically on your DNA mod, you put you press a button, you say put it into replay mode, and then you set your I can't remember whether it's your temperature or what you set, but you set it and you vape it and you say, yeah, I'm happy with that. Oh, so you press record, you say, I'm happy with that, and then you press play, and then you get that same hit. And it's the ones that I did get to work, it's like vaping power mode, but with temp control, if you see what I mean.
Right, yeah.
So you're getting the temp control, but you're getting the same vape as you do with power. I always found temp control vapes to be really cold, and I just didn't enjoy them. But replay was really good. When I can get it to work, it's really, really good.
To be honest with you, when I do the reviews, I basically skip over. I tell them about the temperature control mode that's there, show them how it all works. But I don't know that many people who actually use temperature control. A lot of people are just wattage, aren't they?
There's still people out there, because I had a request to do temp control and the burn test. So when I remember to do them these days on my review, there's still people out there using 6
Have you got a DNA mod?
Professor Vape?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, I'll when I see you, I'll bring you one. You can try it on replay mode. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah.
DNA, the donkey crap. The DNA.
No, DNA's. I like them. You know, even that I'm just a pure mechanical user, I still love the chip. It's a beautiful, beautiful chip. In my opinion, it still outperforms any other chip out there on the market. True, they're not cheap.
In what way? I'm playing devil's advocate now. In what way?
In what way? I would say when it comes to the accuracy of reading ohms to deliver power.
But you can't check that unless you've actually got the equipment that's calibrated to do that.
How I've checked it, I've compared it with, let's say, 5 different devices.
Yeah.
And also the power.
How have you checked it against them? With what?
The same juice, same build, same dripper, and just go with it.
You've not electronically tested that it's hitting at that wattage.
True, but you.
That is what I'm saying. This is where people get confused.
I'm gonna say it like this: you have certain juices, on a different power level, you get different notes.
Yes.
So So you know if it is too high, you're gonna get a different flavor. If it is underpowered, you're gonna get a different flavor.
Yeah, but you're just comparing that. What I'm saying is, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not having to go at you on it.
We're playing good cop, bad cop. Yeah.
What you're saying there is you're comparing the taste of the vape between different mods. What I'm saying is, how do you know the DNA chip is hitting the wattage correctly without having the calibration equipment and the measuring equipment to do that?
Well, unless you're DJLSB, really, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, even DJLSB, they're only using an handheld oscilloscope.
Yeah.
You need a proper calibrated piece of equipment. I'm sorry, I'm electronic engineering coming out now. You need that calibrated equipment to do that. This is where I get confused with people saying, well, that's underpowered or that's overpowered. It's only underpowered and overpowered to your next mod.
But Dave, is it not about how it varies? Because for me,
Well, look,
I like the DNA chip, but I find that, and I know that I hate this saying, but I find that the Yeehee, so like the G class, for me hits harder and quicker than the DNA chip does.
that's my whole point. How do you know that they had it in that wattage without the calibration?
It's not so much the wattage for me. It's when I vape it. So if I vape the Yeehee,
Are you talking one of those? That's
that?
actually a prototype.
Is that what the G? That's a G class. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'm only playing devil's advocate, that's all.
I thought you made him sod off then. I thought he'd gone.
I thought he'd upset him, yeah.
He was coming out to do me in then. No, this, all you can compare it against is the other mods that you have, not having the equipment to do that. That's all I'm saying. That's where it gets confusing for people, because they start to think that a mod is underpowered when that mod might actually be in the correct wattage.
Yeah, the thing about it is,
you're using the chip to control it. Right, that chip has to be programmed with them wattages. Right, it's only zeros and ones.
Well, I'm gonna say true. The DNA chip is not for everyone, because I know when they release them, the only thing that you could do straight out of the box is power mode. For everything else, you had to literally use eScribe and learn how to use it. For me, it was, like this, upload, done, let's go.
I think Professor Vapes has said it there as well. You could have three.
Hang on the nose, Steve.
You could. It's nice to see you as well, Professor Vapes. Love you loads, mate. As well as you could have three DNA chips in three different mods, and they probably all wouldn't hit the same wattage anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
There's that vary. But I think when people say it feels a little bit underpowered, you know, when you've been testing so many different mods all the time, and you know what 70 watt normally feels like.
Right, to you,
Exactly.
To you, you know what I mean? It's your personal. Feels a little bit underpowered. I think that's more of an opinion more than a scientific way that you could work it.
I do it myself. I go, well, that's underpowered because it's not hitting like 90% of the mods I've just reviewed. Everybody does it, but it's hard to say it is if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Going logically.
The last thing I'd want to do though is start taking a mod apart, because I once took my video recorder apart and I ended up with tons of bits. And it played for ages, and then it just went.
I take mine apart like at least once a day.
Aidan, I only changed the condenser in the dryer the other day. I still ended up with the proverbial cut on the finger and the screw left over that I don't know where it went to.
Do you know where it comes from? It actually comes from Sweden. It's all that IKEA flat pack stuff that when there's that one missing screw, isn't there? That's where it's come from. All them people are putting up them shelves, all bit wonky, and it's that one missing screw.
Yeah, I was only playing devil's advocate, and you're right. People can tell, but we all dial in to our own preference, don't we? That's what it is.
How I've tested is, I have quite a selective flavor palette, and when I'm on regulated device, I know exactly which power, and then you go like, okay, this is not right. I don't get the right, flavor, so you up the power. Then I go, yeah, this is okay now.
Better, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. We all dial into our own sense, don't we? No matter what the mod is, we'll bump it up if we think it's a bit less than what we normally have.
Well, that's what I do. I was going to say that I I know I'm not a reviewer, so it probably didn't make any difference. But if something's not, if I feel it's not hot enough, I'll turn it up. If it's too hot, I'll turn it down. But the thing that really winds me up, the thing that I really don't like, is when you press the button and you've got that delay before you get the vape. That I really don't like, and that for me is where the Yee chip wins over. It's a quicker fire for me than the DNA chip. I love the DNA chip. Don't get me wrong, I love both.
Well, you have to look at the firing times then, don't you? I mean, the gene chip has a massively fast firing time.
Oh, you're talking about the Whoopoo?
Booper, yeah, the gene chip.
Beautiful device.
Yeah, but the fire time between pressing the
great.
button, what is it, 0.5 milliseconds, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it all depends. You know, on DNA, you can actually program in the pre-fire sequence, so it will hit as a truck the same time that you press a fire button.
Yeah, it's a pity that mine doesn't have a screen that you can actually see properly, though.
So in that regard, I'm going to say, you know, you have people that love a certain brand. It's like liking a car. Some are like Porsche, some love Fiat, some love Alfa.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about personal taste.
But the difference is you can get as good a performance from a 30 quid mod as you can from a 120 quid mod. I mean, I have a little, I can't remember what it's called. Was it the Snow Ancher on the original?
Well, I've saved only the bag from the mod that I've got like a few years ago. This was a bag from a Boxer 3D printed DNA. The chip was functional. Yeah. But what happened was in my show was, you know, I was pulsing one of my bigger belts, and all of a sudden, just the entire 510 tilted. It's like, yeah, great. Trash can.
Hey, Heavy Vapes. I'll tell you, you can have some of the cheaper chips as well. It's like the Puma. That hit really quickly for a cheap mod. 30 quid.
That's what I'm saying. I say that original, I'm sure it was a Snow Ancher on TC, whatever it was anyway, but so that was like a 40 quid mod. At
the end, it doesn't matter what you vape on. Is it one of those, or one of those? Doesn't matter. As long as you vape safe and it does the job.
Does the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all that's important. You know, me flashing this is, let's say, 1,000 US setup, it's completely pointless.
But do you find, just going on to a slightly different subject, like vape snobbery, do you find vape snobbery at all? Because, I mean, I find myself that I like to have something a bit different.
I'll admit, I am a snob because I love high-end stuff, but I don't push that on the others. True, I rub it into a few faces of people that are also snobs, but that's it. I'm not gonna go to a person that's using mouth too long. It's like and say, "Oh, this is not vaping." No. You know, at the end, we're all we're all trees in the same forest, and if that forest start to burn, we're all gonna burn down. It's that simple.
Obviously, you started your coils roughly about 5 years ago. Well, that's when you first started vaping, about 5 years ago. How did the juice range come in then?
The juice, getting juice in Sweden at that point, it was really expensive. It was cheaper for me to import the juice from the States. So I was Higgies, Sickle Boy, Manhattan, and so on. I ordered all from the States because it was that much cheaper. Though these days it's different. You can get almost whatever you want.
So, did you collaborate with somebody, or how did the flavors come around?
Basically, I order it straight from the source.
Yeah. So is it a little bit like a white label, or did you actually help with the mixing, or?
The recipe.
I did a little bit of mixing here and there, but I'm too lazy.
Yeah.
It's like, give me a bottle, thank you, bye.
Yeah,
I'd rather make my own coils.
I mixed some orange Tic Tacs and it didn't go to plan that.
Really?
Oh,
Did you
no.
actually mix the Tic Tacs in with the VG and the PG?
Yeah, just shook them all up. Nobody said that I actually used a concentrate. I just carried on looking at it like that. No, it actually just tastes like burnt orange. I didn't get the ratios right.
You know,
create a juice, you can't just do it off the bat like that. It takes months and months and months to perfect it how you want.
you know, I know that Jonas and Thor, those are the guys that are making juices here in the Viking. They literally, it took them year and a half to perfect 20 juices, and they didn't release one at all at once. They started with 4, and then they worked, and when now it works great on everything, this can go out.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Oh, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's definitely not easy. I've tried, and yeah, I was crap.
I tried one Christmas, mate. I had the bright idea I'm going to make some Christmas juices myself, and I bought a whole load of concentrates and stuff like that. And I was going to make a Christmas cake and a Bailey's juice, and it tasted like absolute. It was horrible. It wasn't nice at all. It all went down the drain.
For some reason, I was waiting for you to say cat piss. I don't know why. It did, because he doesn't swear and he's not that type of man. I should have known you'd have gone. It didn't taste very nice.
Nice. No.
Like arse.
Yes, it tasted like arse. Christmas arse as well.
No, it wasn't nice. I've not watched vape shows, a lot of vape shows for a while, so I've been too busy. But I've just noticed that Noel Eid is now Noel Cowboy Eid.
Yeah.
Is that new, or am I just behind the times?
Yeah, I didn't notice that. He's a cowboy.
Yeah, no, you're behind the times. Noel's been like that for quite a while.
Has it? I need to get back into watching.
Also,
shows.
nice to say hello to. He's from Ireland, Dullen Brewing. He says he's from God's country. He meant Ireland and not Yorkshire.
Yorkshire's good country. Michelle B and BFG.
Yeah, and I see BFG in. Well, you've actually come a little bit late because we are getting to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. How quick has that gone?
That's gone very, very
really quick.
Okay, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Really quick.
It felt like 5 minutes, honestly.
It does, yeah. It is. That hour just goes so quickly. But it's been an absolute fantastic hour, and it's been very informative. And we're going to put all the details for Andre all in the descriptions of this video for you. So if you want to go and check out his Facebook page and also his website, all the stuff will be there for you. I just want to say a big thank you from us three for coming on, mate, and sharing with us your journey.
Simon, are these coils available on your site?
Whose site's that? My site, Salford. Yes.
Your site.
Yes, Viking, and just pronounce it correctly in Swedish for me, Andre. Vikingen coils are available on the Coiler website. Not that I'm advertising or anything like that, but yes.
I'll advertise it.
Yes, thank you, Salford. Yeah, so please feel free to go and take a look.
Just a quick question for you, Andre. It's totally nothing to do with vaping. Have you tried any of that pickled herring yet?
What's that?
Pickled herring. They have it over in Sweden, isn't it? Is it Sweden or Norway?
That's Norway.
Oh, you go get yourself in trouble now, eh?
I think it was Sweden.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about canned fish.
Yeah, that fermented herring.
Surströmming. Yeah, let me put it this way. My first encounter with that was actually in a chef school, and I was like, "Ooh, what's that? Are we gonna be making that?" And they said yes. And when they said yes, I already opened it. They literally had to evacuate the entire building.
Is that the really smelly stuff?
Yeah.
Trust me, if you want to destroy someone's life and his car, all you have to do is open it a little bit and throw it into his back seat so it falls under in the summer. Trust me, that car is going to be total.
We had, coincidentally, bizarrely, whatever, I was having a conversation in the office today about this. Somebody brought some in a few weeks ago. And the description of the office after they opened the tin was it smelt like a Thai brothel. I think was the word that was used. Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever been to a Thai brothel, but that was
honestly the flavor is nothing special. It's just fish. But
see, if you want to check that out, people, go on YouTube and just put fermented herring in there. There's loads of people do the challenge. But if you're a little bit of a wheezy stomach, don't watch it because a lot of them don't make it.
No,
It's not something that I'd want to do.
Yeah,
What we're going to do is, again, we will put all the websites, all the links and everything like that in the description so you can go and check him out. Once again, Andre, thank you so much for coming on, brother. And I'm sure we're going to get you on again if you're happy to come on.
anytime you want me.
Yeah, it's been an ace to talk to you, as well as it's about vaping, isn't it? And we don't talk about coils a hell of a lot on the show, and it's nice to get the know-how, the inside information.
I was taught by the best, so
Aries is and I'll tell you what, Aries is an absolute corking bloke. I've when I were on VUNK, absolute lovely bloke. A lot of time for him, and I hope he's doing well. I haven't spoken to him for a long while, so I hope he's well.
He doesn't build anymore.
No, he's not been very well, has he?
I don't know. I kind of lost touch with him, but from as far as I know, the laws in Arkansas are complete rubbish.
Well, they're all like that all over America at the minute, aren't they?
Mm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it over to Salford. So, in fact, Andre, you can say your goodbyes to everybody if you want to.
Thank you, everyone, to suffer me. And if you want to see me more, I'm actually casting on the TOS iVlog. There's a vaping network, actually two. One is West Coast and one is TOS, the other side. You are more than welcome to hop on. Sure, it's more orientated for US market, but everyone is welcome.
And like I said, we'll be putting everything like that down in the description so you can check it out. I'll pass you straight over to Salford. Do you want to say your goodbyes, brother?
I do, but I've got my mad head on because I haven't had my section.
Yeah, we haven't, have we? No. So sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to hold on here. Sorry, it's my bit. What is Salford's quote from the Salford Bible, the quote of the week?
Well, first one's got to come from another Salfordian anyway, ain't Mike Hardy. A bird in the hand does it on your wrist. Just remember that one. Right. And one from Confucius. Right. If I remember it, I've got to read it because I've got to remember it right. It doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you don't stop. How about that?
Absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Salford's quote of the week. Now you can say your goodbyes, brother.
Guys, thank you very much for coming on and and watching this, me getting louder and Simon going to tell me off after the show. Yeah, thanks, guys. Without you, there's no show. And a massive thank you to everybody out there that's jumped in and jumped off because I've noticed the numbers moving. To Aidan, of course, Simon and Andre. Thank you very much, Andre, for coming on. And don't forget, if you're not subscribed to any of us, get over there and do that. If you haven't bought a coil yet, I want to know why. And yeah, I'm going to pass it back to you, Aidan.
Well, we'll pass it to Simon next, Simon.
Thank you very much indeed for everybody in chat. As always, thank you to all the spanners, obviously, who've been looking after things in chat as well. Very, very much appreciated. Thank you to Salford for his being as usual. He's been a bit argumentative, hasn't he, tonight, Mr. Salford?
I've been playing devil's advocate, and I played it last Wednesday, and I can't get out of the role.
Bit Victor Meldrew-like. Thank you to... this is my revenge for what you were doing behind the scenes when I was doing the news. Thank you to Andre for coming on the show. Very much appreciated. You're a very busy man. Appreciate you taking the time out to come on the show. And obviously thank you to the wonderful Aidan Little Bro Vapes for looking after everything as usual, doing all the techie stuff. Very much appreciated. As Salford said, without everybody in chat, there wouldn't be a show. Really nice to see everybody in here. And we will see you next week.
Well, we might actually see you next week. We might have to shuffle things around a little bit because Simon's got some work commitments, but we'll keep tuned. We will let you know all about that. I'd just like to say thank you very much to everybody who's been on. It's been absolutely fantastic. Andre, thank you so much. Simon, love you loads, and also to you, Salford. You're a bunch of stars. I'd like to say thank you to everybody on chat. You make the show. Thank you very much to all the spanners. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I've been very, very lucky to be voted in the Vape Around Reviewer of the Year. Please go over and give the Underdog a vote. It'd be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be lovely to go to the expo and see all that. Yeah.
That's lots of fun.
Yeah, grease your palms. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 3 Men and a Vape Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week, hopefully. Check it all out. We're going to play the outro. Good night.
Deserts.
That's it, the intro's playing. Piss flaps.
Dirty burger.
Dirty burger.
I'm not going to say anything rude. I don't use rude